Hey guys, what's going on? Well, we got some information and we've been getting more and more information from a lot of different sources, different people who have started to believe in the work of this channel. That's why you guys have to share the videos, you have to like, you have to comment so that YouTube could continue to push the channel because the information we're receiving is from persons outside of the Caribbean and some within the Caribbean who have links to good information, I may say. But there's something that has always been talked about, things going on in the Caribbean that we don't know. This one is a list of things hidden beneath the Caribbean Sea. I mean, it's very calm. People pass it. A lot of things are happening. They don't, they just look at the turquoise water in the Caribbean, but there's something going on. And the question is, what's being hidden beneath the Caribbean Sea? People will say, well, there's nothing beneath there but just, sand, I guess. Well, there's energy harvesting technology, there's a Guardian program, there's a coral cover up. And the question is, why it's hidden? And that is something that we want to take a look at today. So, when people go through the Caribbean and they look at it, they dive, they see the turquoise waters, beautiful. There's a lot of things that are concealed, so carefully concealed, that even local fishermen, people who ply these waters daily, have no idea of its true nature. And that is something that a lot of us laymen would not know either. There are always governments, there are powerful corporations who have long worked in concert to obscure their existence. But there have been whispers among, I would say, rogue scientists. There are people who are retired from naval officers or even some of the deep sea divers, and they would have been in touch with us. This channel is growing because of the content that we've been putting out lately. And so there are a lot of things, and some of them we really talk them around here. I think they're gonna shut us down, but we're asking you to continue to share the channel, all right? There's something they call the energy harvesting technology. And they're saying that at the heart of the Nexus, Nexus joins things together. There is a mysterious, they call it anomaly, that seems to generate an electromagnetic pulse detectable even by satellites. And what we've been getting is that the claims are that this is evidence of a still functioning power core, potentially capable of infinite clean energy. You hear a lot of us looking at wind energy, we're looking at solar power, we're looking at getting fossil fuels or oil from the ground. They're saying that there is this capability of infinite clean energy. We're not hearing much about it though. And so they're saying that some of the governments have dispatched scientific research vessels um, in pursuit, they're saying, or under the cover and the guise of climate research. But insiders say, or they've been telling us, that their true goal is to tap into the energy source. And if they are weaponized, based on what the naval officers telling us, if they are weaponized, this technology could grant whoever controls it unmatched global dominance. If you notice lately, China and Russia has been playing hard in the Caribbean, America's backyard. They know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. We just get in basically what the news wants to tell us, right? So there's the energy harvesting technology, all right? There is the guardianship program, a strange one, where you have unmarked submarines that have been spotted patrolling the Caribbean Sea. Now, you've heard lately about Russian submarines in Cuba, in Venezuela, and persons who are no fishermen have told me about sighting. They know how the top of a submarine looks, and they would see it, and then it would just disappear under. But these are people who fish out far in the Caribbean Sea. All right. So there's unmarked submarines that have been spotted patrolling our waters, and eyewitnesses, which are fishermen, retired naval people, report unidentified undersea craft, or USOs, not UFOs this time, moving at speeds no known submarine could actually achieve. And we've heard lately about the USOs that Russia is involved with. So there's a lot of things that are going on. And some persons have suggested that these crafts are piloted by, now, not humans, but AI guardians. Basically, they're using technology to pilot them. They don't have to be there anymore. Just like how you can fly a drone without, you don't have to be sitting in a drone to fly it. So these are underwater sea craft now, almost like drones, and they are piloted by AI guardians. And they're programmed, so they're programmed, run by AI guardians, and these are who've been using to protect the secrets that is underneath the Caribbean Sea that we don't know about. And there are the people who have had discussions with who told me that they believe that these are manned by modern black ops teams. All right. So, and they're basically sent to keep rival nations at bay. So, where you have China, Russia, the US vying for the backyard, which is the Caribbean here, they're saying basically that the USOs that you see moving about in the Caribbean Sea from time to time, they're piloted by AI guardians, so they're unmanned vehicles really by modern black op teams. So you don't see them, but they man them, and they're basically like managing to make sure that rival nations stay at bay. So we don't know who these nations are, but we've heard about technologies from China and Russia. I would want to believe that the US is involved as well in this, because you don't want to think that America is going to leave Russia and China to really meddle in the backyard for long periods of time without coming to take or claim what they say is their own. I mean, I don't know how they do that, but they say it's their own. And then there is what you call the coral cover up, you know, and seeing like environmental organization often speak of the Caribbean's fragile coral reefs and the need for protection. A lot of groups are being paid to protect these coral reefs. We've seen a lot of different people in these islands say they're coming to look at corals, to protect corals, to help to regrow corals. We don't hear much of what they're doing. We just hear that they come to deal with corals, and government say, oh, yeah, we'll just deal with the corals. But we really don't know what they're involved in. But what if this environmental rhetoric is just a cover story? Because that is what we've been getting basically. There is evidence really to suggest that the coral formations in certain regions in the Caribbean are not natural, but are growing over the ruins of what they're doing underneath there. So it's basically, you hear them saying that they're going to regrow corals here, they're going to, because they've been depleted by hurricanes, blah, blah, whatever. Yeah. So, well, we know they're not natural. So they're growing over the ruins, or things that they're hiding underneath there, deliberately seeded by clandestine operations to obscure what they have there and the outline of what they have underneath there from prying satellite imagery. Because remember, some of these things, satellite can actually detect them now. So there's a lot of things going on in the Caribbean which we don't really know about. The question you have to ask is why it's hidden, and if the existence of all these things are there. You have to understand now why, if the Nexus is revealed, what could happen. It would disrupt every facet of modern life, because energy companies would collapse based on what they're doing. Nations would scramble for control, and the public understanding of history basically is going to be rewritten. You see, a lot of secrets, it's so explosive that even mentioning it in certain circles invites suppression. And that is why we can't go too deep on this channel, because it could be suppressed. Channel could be suppressed. And those who get too close, whether marine archaeologists or independent explorer, they tend to disappear under mysterious circumstances. There were two guys last year from Colombia. There was one from the Florida who just simply disappeared while investigating this technology they're calling harvesting technology, and the issue with the corals. So nobody knows where they are at this point in time. So there's other things that are happening, but as always, there's a lot of questions that we can ask. Who's really pulling the strings? Is it a shadowy cabal of governments and corporations, or does the ancient civilization still hold influences from the depth? Which I really want to cut out that part, because I don't really believe in this, holding influence from the depths. That sounds a bit kind of, but so that one I would cross out for now. But for me, the cabals, the governments, and the corporations, I see that, and they're using their this thing to steer humanity's fate. Whatever the truth is, the Caribbean Sea is basically far more than a tropical paradise. It's a burial ground of secrets that could really find our world. A lot of things are happening in the Caribbean that we simply do not know about. And that is why I said I'm going to get into deep research, do different programs, not like what we used to have. And this is what people have been asking me for since we've been doing it. More persons have been coming out and saying, yes, thank you for the education. Thank you for bringing this to light. And so more persons are seeing the channel, and I beg you to share the channel more, and more persons are sending information. So, guys, like, share, and this, and subscribe, comment, what do you have to do? A lot of likes, a lot of comments. Let's get this going. I understand that Trinidad is being targeted in some UFO conspiracy. This conspiracy is getting deeper and deeper by the day. That video is coming up next, so make sure you watch it. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.